Okay, pay attention to this. Let's see what happens. Hey guys, welcome to the video today. In today's video, I'm going to show how to use this and give my review. This is the Scott's Whirl hand-powered spreader. And yeah, let's just check this out really quick. I'm gonna take the card off here. Just taped on. Okay, and before we begin, make sure that you're wearing the proper safety equipment and take all safety precautions, and make sure that you read through all of the informations and warnings that come with the Scott's Whirl hand-powered spreader, and any of the information and warnings on the fertilizer that you're going to use with the Scott's Whirl hand-powered spreader before you use it. It has this piece right here that can be pulled out like this, you know, to be able to give your wrist, your arm here some support while you're using this. And then when you're done, this part can be pushed back in. It has the adjustment right here. And depending on what you're doing, you can adjust it. This is the lawn food that I'm going to be using. This is by Scott's, and if we take a look at the back here, so it has a suggestion for the Scott's Whiz spreader, which is different than this one. This is the Scott's Whirl, but this is probably going to be the closest setting, because this is for the Scott's Whiz spreader, and it says 3 3/4 is the setting. And this is like a handheld one. This one doesn't have a 3 3/4, so I'm going to go with 4. So I'm just going to turn that to 4 there, and that's where the arrow is pointing. And yeah, this is what it looks like. Here's the barcode on the bottom. And when I pour the lawn food into the yard spreader here, I just go slowly, because I've noticed in the past that sometimes this clumps up, and it has the potential to like jam up the yard spreader. This one looks pretty good though. I haven't noticed any clumps. So I'm gonna stop about there just so I don't like overfill this. So from here is where you would adjust the settings here. I already adjusted it, but say it was, you know, on 3 and you wanted to go to 4. We just turn this to whatever you want it to be. So now it's on 4, it has the arrow pointing. And as I showed you, for me, that's going to be the closest setting to what the closest recommendation was. Now I'm going to pull out the part here, so my wrist, my arm has a place to be able to rest. And it looks like there's 2 different, it kind of stops, so it stops there, and then it stops there. So there might be like 2 different settings. I'm just gonna go all the way out like this, and I'm gonna do the perimeter of the yard first, and then just walk up and down and cover all the areas. So I have my wrist, my arm here resting on this. I'm gonna pull the trigger back and hold it, and then just turn this in a clockwise direction. So here we go. One thing I noticed is it definitely, you know, as I'm going, it seems to go pretty smooth and evenly here. And I'm just trying to get the perimeter here. I'm trying to keep it out of the flower beds and off the pavement, so I'm just really trying to watch where it goes. And I might have been able to get the full perimeter pretty close to it. And you can see it's pretty much empty now, so I'm going to refill it. It holds a good amount, you know. I'm surprised at how much fits in there. And I pay attention to when I start because it seems to dump out like a lot of the fertilizer at once when you start. I'm just trying to, have to start as least amount as possible. Yeah, this thing seems to work pretty well. And then you see all this lawn food that gets on the concrete and everywhere else. You want to clean this up when you're done. And when I'm done, what I do is I put on a good quality mask and then sweep all of this, back into the grass. Okay, pay attention to this. Let's see what happens. You see that first part that came out? Those are the parts that I'm concerned about that hurt the grass. All right, guys, so I just figured something out, and I don't know if this was common knowledge for others, but it definitely wasn't for me. So how I was talking about how the lawn food just kind of dumps out at once when I start, I found a way to minimalize that. It definitely minimalizes how much comes out at first. So what I was doing before was I was pressing down the trigger, and when I do that, it opens the door in the yard spreader, and the lawn food drops down and is ready to be dispersed. So instead of doing that, what I started doing is turning this first before I press the trigger, so that way no lawn food has dropped down into the yard spreader yet, being ready to go out onto the yard, and then I press the trigger. So then as it starts dropping down, it's already spreading out. So I'll give you an example here. I just have a little bit left. I'm just going to put it in this part of the yard. So I'm going to spin this like this, and then I'm going to press the trigger. And you see nothing really, came out in like a big clump. So I'm just trying to get the last of this out. That's about it. So anyways, I just wanted to mention that. So it was kind of like, for me, it was like a moment of like, oh, so for the future, I'll definitely use that method versus, and you can see the door is right down there. So when the trigger is pressed, that door opens up and the lawn food just drops down below. And so then when you start turning this, it sends that first amount out into the yard. So anyways, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean up, and then I'll be back to give my review. All right, guys, so here is my review of the Scott's Whirl handheld yard spreader. I like this. I think that it worked well. I like this piece here because when I'm using the yard spreader, it helps to support my wrist and my arm here. And then when I'm not using it, it can be put back into the yard spreader just to help reduce, how much space this takes up while you're storing it. And when you do this, be careful because there are pinch points. And then I thought that the dial here, for the different settings was easy to use, easy to figure out. I thought that it held a good amount of lawn food. And I thought that it evenly distributed the lawn food as I was using it. It looked like a real even pattern that was coming out. So I was happy with that. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.